politics and what's happening in NASA because of the comments made by former Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale. Incidentally, it was during his appearance on JK Live right here on Citizen TV that he made these comments, that dismissing Raila Odinga's swearing in as a non-issue, and that word non-issue is the biggest problem today. Fresh fury in ODM over Halwale's law. I'm sure you will totally agree with the former senator in his choice of words for that. Probably it's only that it came from a member of the NASA coalition. Right. Well, his party leader did not attend that. Wiper Party leader, we want to go to have a member of the Wiper Party, the Deputy Secretary General, Peter Mathuki, but he is not able to attend to be on the panel. But according to Jubilee, it was a non-issue.
It was a non-issue, and by the way, Fred, I saw that broadcast here with former Senator Halwale, and I think, apart from it being a non-issue, I was shocked by how he actually sidestepped the whole thing. One, he was saying that they needed to do, or Boni was in support of what you'd call a realistic swearing in, which was a very big lie. He was saying if it was a realistic swearing in, they wanted to get a deputy or a chief justice or a deputy chief justice. They wanted to invite dignitaries. And then he goes on using the same breath to say they still wanted to do it within the Constitution. That is not only crazy, it's a little bit senile. How do you do that? All right? The Constitution, Boni himself knows very well that the Constitution admits only one president within the Republic. He knows that. The Republic of Kenya has only one president, actually admitted by the Constitution. He knows that very clearly. So he is right when he says that was more like a game. All right? And that's why they did not attend. But that's not the truth again. The truth of the matter is, and probably Bwana Wakili here can tell us, being from our party, is that they were played. The three principles, namely Musalia Mudavadi, Wetangula, and Kalonzo Musyoka, were played to it. All right? And once they got wind that Raila Odinga had already taken the oath of being the people's president, it came as a shocker to them. They have said as much. If you read the body language, if you go see what Wiper is saying, if you see what Amani Coalition is saying, Barack Muluka has been here, and that is where he is saying. I mean, this was an issue where half of us didn't know what was happening. That is the voice we are getting from this party. So this matter is very simple. They were played, they should accept and move on.
ODM Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Oparanya yesterday said the National Super Alliance was as good as dead. I'm reading directly from page 4 of the Daily Nation, throwing the coalition into a deeper political turmoil. Now he was responding directly to those comments by the former senator of that county, Boni Halwale. Just a simple statement from a person who is not even a member of parliament now, causing such trouble. Do you agree with that? Was it even necessary for ODM Deputy Party Leader Wycliffe Oparanya to respond to those comments?
No, not entirely. I'll tell you what, and permit me to be a little bit critical. You know, Power Breakfast is a very serious show. We discuss great matters of national importance. Then there is some of also your other programs that are not so quite serious, like this one's, where the likes of Halwale appear with my friend Jeff. But perhaps we just
very serious show.
we just leave their discussions there.
Is probably the biggest show right now.
I'm telling you, yes.
Let's leave their discussions there, because I think they're more of a talk show for public entertainment. And then when the Standard decides to make it headline news, I think they're belittling.
But don't you think the fact that the ODM Deputy Party Leader chose to respond directly to that statement, that probably made it a serious issue, that maybe when Boni Halwale said it wasn't as serious, but that response by a senior party official is probably why it's making headline news?
Look, I think ODM has its spokesman. And my governor and Ango Oparanya, I think, has his territory. I wouldn't give a lot of credence to what he says unless it came from somewhere top. He is not the spokesperson of the party.
So you do not, this should not worry any member.
It's a small footnote in a big book.
Well, it's still a big headline on the Daily Nation this morning. The paper with the biggest circulation in Kenya currently, fresh fury in ODM over Halwale Sla. Would you say that even probably the former senator is trying to create his own political space after losing out on the senatorial, on the governorship race in Kakamega?
No, Ndubuli, allow me to maintain my own position. There's no news about that issue. It's a small footnote. I'm even surprised it found its way to headlines.
Why do you think Bunahagi is so reluctant to comment on this issue?
He's limiting the truth. The truth, you know, this is the big talk in town right now as we speak, and you put it very well. First of all, you cannot diss the JKL live show. I mean, like you said, that's the, you know, that's the show of the week.
Easy,
so no, I'm just telling you. I'm just reporting a fact. That's the where Nelson is saying, and you know, you've asked him severally, and he doesn't want to tell you.
Yes.
A deputy, the ODM deputy chief. This is not just anybody else talking. When he tells you the NASA has outlived, you know, its lifespan, he knows what he's talking about. They are actually looking to revamp their candidature. They've already started talking those politics. Albeit the fact that we want to move into other big things, the development, the big 4 agendas and other things, you know, and make the the Mwananchi's life, you know, bearable.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be the agenda that's carried through and through the entire nation. But you see, they want to run away from this, but they've already started the 2022 campaigns where they are saying, we know the people we are going to address. And Boni Khalwale said here that what they know, in fact, I saw a tweet where he says, you know, President Uhuru is retiring, we won't have a Kenyatta, and Raila Odinga must retire. So he said, the 2020 elections, we will not have these two families. And I was taken aback, I'm like, who told you? One thing you cannot downplay, and I'll support you here, Bwana Wakili. You cannot play around with the Houdini antics of Raila Odinga. That is what he is known to do, reinvent himself.
Okay.
Honorable Raila Odinga has already reinvented himself. Count him in 2022, and nobody actually will come close in votes if he so chooses to run. He will be, and I can guarantee you this, he will have more votes if whatever coalition they make and whatever way they decide to run to pick a flag bearer, Raila will still beat them up to it. You know why? Because that is something he knows very well. He knows how to re-engineer and to reinvent himself. So there, I think they are wrong. They are, you know, taking that name very lightly. The likes of Boni Khalwale, I must tell them this on this broadcast. If you can bet, and now, you know, start pushing him out of NASA. In Parliament, somebody said it very well. ODM is still the largest party.
Okay.
Give it that. Give it that. So it's not easy when you come and try to tell them that NASA is done and dusted.
It still makes for the biggest headline on the front page of the Daily Nation. But in terms of space, the kind of space they've given it is a lot more. But Nelson Harvey is very reluctant to delve into that.
No, very dismissive, not reluctant. The footnote.
One thing he'll agree is that NASA is dead, and I'm liking that. That he'll agree.
Well, I've not heard him agreeing to that. But
no, he will agree if you push him a little bit further. He'll agree that NASA is dead.
Let's talk about other headlines as well. On page 10 of the Daily Nation, this one we only have a few minutes to talk about it. Studies paralyzed as public university staff begin strike. Now this is a problem because we've seen it happening over and over again. We have a new cabinet secretary in charge of labor, Ukur Yatani. Are we confident that this can be resolved? Because, well, lecturer strikes, it happened last year. We saw even the Jubilee government was not quick to attend to them because probably of election matters. But Nelson Harvey, do you think this time this can be handled in a better way, given that the CS for education has changed, the CS in charge of labor has changed?
Well, it should be handled in a better way. And you see, in Demoli, I was raised by parents who are all teachers. Teachers take a very heavy beating to ensure that students are taught well. And more so, especially the lecturers. It cannot be explained why a lecturer should be paid in the regions of tens of thousands when we have people like Gabriel here, strategist for the government, who are paid millions of shillings. Look, the responsibility of creating professionals is a very heavy responsibility. And the government must make its mind once and for all and ensure that lecturers are well remunerated. We cannot have this negotiation being staggered, an agreement being made, it's not being honored. And for heaven's sake, you are dealing with the top cream of the professionals in the country. These are the people who will create the doctors, they will create the journalists, they create the mechanics, they create the lawyers. Why should they be treated in the manner in which they're being treated? And it is my firm belief that lecturers must put their feet down now. They must get a correct bargain for the services they give. Because
however long it takes, because this would mean the closure of universities as well.
Well, I'm a student there, so I'm likely to be affected. But this is a bona fide course. You understand? We cannot mistreat our lecturers. We cannot mistreat the teachers. We cannot mistreat the nurses. We cannot mistreat the doctors. They need to get value for what they do. And there are agreements in place. What is the handicap on the part of the government in honoring these agreements? There's a lot of provision for these things. But we are being told money is being channeled toward this project, is being channeled toward this project. For a fact, there is money. That money must be given to the lecturers. Not next year, not after 2 years, not staggered. It must be given now.
He made a very good case for the lecturers.
No, he has.
Now, from the Jubilee perspective, of course, there's a new CS for Labour, new CS for Education, Amina Mohammed, with a serious diplomatic credentials.
There you go. There you go.
Do you hope? Are you hoping that, or are you optimistic that something will be done soon?
Very, very, very. And you know, to be honest, I think this is something that has come through and through, Fred. Like you've said it, you put it very well. I think something we've seen it throughout the years. This has been happening. So this is a problem that has been sieved through and through from various administrations. I hope this time round it's a multi-ministry approach which must be taken. You have Yatur Kani in Labour, and you have, you know, the Madam Amina Mohammed in Education. One thing that I am so sure of is that there is a very able team within the Ministry of Education, led by Madam Amina Mohammed. And I can guarantee you, using her diplomatic skills and the way she knows how to do policy, I think she may go down to looking very closely to this issue. When you're talking about lecturers striking almost every year, it is an element of sobriety, high sobriety, that is required. And I know Amina is up to the task. So what we need to be seeing is how it will be delivered. Because like I tell you, you need now a long-term solution. If CS Amina is able to find that, I can guarantee you sobriety will come back to the lecturers. And again, like what Javi is saying, it is a high time we have to look, how much are these people worth? All right? This is not an issue of, you know, when you're talking about lecturers, the first thing you go, these guys I call IPUCCF, you know, you go that way and say, oh, no, first of all, look at the students, you know, take the welfare of the student. No, I told you, it is a multi-ministry that needs to come in with a lot of sobriety and say, how do we ensure, as much as we give value to our students, we also take care of our lecturers. And I can guarantee you, the team at the Ministry of Education will do some serious job in this.
As we wrap up our news review this morning, I want us to look at one more headline as you make your final remarks about this. It's on page 13 of the Standard. 22 billion shillings for new government system. Proposal 6 to create powerful premier but weak as the presidency. This came out a day before yesterday. It has made for big discussions. People are still talking about this. That proposal by TIT Member of Parliament, Kasait Kamket. What are your thoughts about it? Yes, this was him appearing before Parliament's Budget Committee, and it came out that yes, it would cost at least 22 billion shillings just to effect that new system. But don't you think that the idea behind this new system, this proposed system, could actually resolve some of the issues bedeviling us in terms of elections, in terms of political exclusion, in terms of minority communities probably having an opportunity or a stab at the presidency? What are your thoughts on this as you make your final comments? Let's start with you, Baron Nelson Javi.
We have a very elaborate, purposeful and functional constitution which was intended to ensure that people are well represented in governance, from the top bottom. I don't think what the Honourable Member of Parliament has put in place is the solution to the problem we have now. What we need to resolve is a simple, straightforward issue. Truth and justice in elections. It's as simple as that. Because Kenya has been punctuated with a lot of mischief, distrust, and so to speak, a lot of electoral injustice, where people go and vote, but others determine who the leaders will be. We just need to be candid with ourselves. If the poll will return, and we're not talking about election of governor, member of the National Assembly, this is all in respect to the presidencies, because the presidency determines a lot on account of development. The reason why everybody will want a share of the national cake is because the executive controls every facet of development. So that is one seat where all we need is electoral, truth and justice, not the proposals that are coming now.
Nelson Harvey does not support that proposal.
Well, very quickly, just to debunk one thing that Wakili has said, the executive does not control any, or everything when it comes to matters development. We haven't, we accepted got into devolution, and devolution plays a very big part. So the governors, all right, have a stake in development. The MCAs, through the World Development Fund, they have a stake in it. The MPs, through the CDF, they also have a stake in it. So it is erroneous again to say the executive, they have the hand in each, in all matters development. No, but when you talk about the big national projects, yes, then I think there you have it right. When you're talking about this bill that's coming, and one thing I'm liking, and I have agreed with him when he talked about a progressive constitution, that I agree. And what we need to look deep into is the fact that we have an environment that we can debate whether this bill is good for this country or not. What we should not lose sight again, Fred, is where we say this is how it must run, we must support it. No, let's debate, let's talk about it. We have an environment, we have a constitution that allows. If the people of Kenya finally see that this would be the way they want to be governed, so be it. But I don't think at this time...
Do you agree with that proposal? Do you think it's what we need?
I don't think this is what we need. Before we talk about issues of Agenda 4, if you ask me this bill and Agenda 4 issues, I think I would take you to Agenda 4. Wow. Because Agenda 4s were talking about the issues that we are going through. We're talking about electoral reforms. We're talking about inclusivity. The issues captured on Agenda 4 back in 2007, that is what we need to be talking about.
Okay. A related headline on page 8 of the Standard: Ouko wants number of elected leaders reduced. Auditor General Edward Ouko has opened a potential battlefront with legislators after proposing a reduction in the number of MPs and MCAs. And that wraps it up for our news review this morning. Thank you so much, Gabriel Muduma, analyst and Jubilee Party strategist, as well as Nelson Harvey, a lawyer, helping us look at the headlines this morning. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for giving us your time. Well, that wraps it up for our news review this morning. Remember, Power Breakfast still continues up until 9 a.m., and that's the hashtag to use. The show continues. Some music coming up. Do stand by for that. Fashion Friday segment, as well as Level Up Fridays as well with DJ Roy T-Boy, so do stand by for that. My name is Freddie Ndemuli. Good morning.